You are in the zone with Cranky and the Swag Man. All right, we're back with another episode, but first, we need to make a disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are purely those of the individuals voicing them and do not represent the values of the sponsors or the platforms on which this podcast is hosted. And man, I'm going to have to record that and start just pasting it onto the front of each episode.
Yeah, that'll be 10 times easier.
Oh, fucking oath.
Yeah, it's one of those that you just, every time you get into it, it's just like, it takes a little bit extra time, but it's going to hit record, hit play, copy and paste.
All right, we have a good one this time. Actually, I think we have a good one every time, but this one is a hot topic in our industry. The abuse faced by individuals in our industry from both members of the general public and the companies they work for.
Indeed, it is a big, big topic. And it's something that we face nearly every day that we go to work. It's and I apologise in advance, my throat is sore, so you'll be hearing from Mr. Cranky most of this episode. But yeah, it is very much an industry where every day we go to work, we hope we don't get abused, but we're guaranteed to go to work and at least get abused by one person, whether it's because we've done a road closure and they see us as an enemy and not helping their daily situation because we've held them up for a whole of 2 minutes while we're keeping everyone else safe. So
doesn't that just piss some people off, hey?
It does. And I understand, there's construction going on and the state government probably doesn't help because they're dealing with all the other construction shit going on in the city. And you can only imagine if they've just gone through a state government construction zone where the traffic's gone really slow and then they just run into us. Just to top it off.
One of my all-time favorites is the poor people, and I can understand this one in the job I'm working at the moment because we do, like I've explained before, we do sort of smash and grab style jobs. We turn up, set up, complete the job, and then we piss off. So a lot of the time there'll be a construction site around the corner or just down the road or something like that. These people will have just driven through only to come across us as well. So they're like, okay, I've gotten through the roadwork stage of my day and fuck, there's another one.
Yeah, and it seems to be be an ongoing theme. It doesn't matter where you are in Australia. People are like, oh, that'll never happen to me. I was just like, yeah, come join traffic control. And I tell you now, it doesn't matter whether you're in Perth, Western Australia, Sydney, Canberra, Brisbane, anyone doing traffic control construction. The minute you go play around public footpaths or main roads, you're guaranteed to get abused.
Yeah, that's it.
Comes with the line of it, and you've got to have thick skin. And if you don't have thick skin and you're going to react to it, by God, do not get in the job. Do not even think about getting your tickets because you're guaranteed to get abused.
If you can't handle Karens, this ain't the job for you, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Karens, or what can we call them? Male Karens. We can call them, I don't know, Daves or something.
Daves, yeah. Daves. Yeah. Conehead Dave.
I can't say that. I got a couple of good mates named Dave. They're pretty decent.
Put the dunce cone on top of their head. You're all today is Dave. Dave, shout out.
We do tend to cop it from all angles, mostly because people get to our jobs and I don't know, they just assume that we have a cruisy job and we're just there to inconvenience them. I've actually had one woman just stop her car in the middle of the road and start crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not that big a deal. Just follow the detour. We have arrows pointing.
Yeah.
All you got to do is go to the left.
The biggest one that I've run into, and it's hilarious, watching people go, I don't know where to go. And you've got this sign about yay big that literally has the arrow pointing on where to go. 400 cones along a three-way traffic area saying
Yep.
detour that way, and they
Mm-hmm.
just stop in front of you going, "Oh, but which way do I go?" And you've literally got 3 or 4 signs along that main stretch pointing detour that way, detour that way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't hard to miss.
Well,
And that's what's mind-boggling is people still go, "Oh, but I didn't know what way to go." And you get
mm,
those idiots that just run straight through the cones because they see a gap that you quite clearly left there to get the construction workers in and out or your ute in and out, but they aim for
mm.
that one gap. And
Oh, they see the gap and they think, oh, that's the bit of the road that's not closed. Oh, that's for me. I'm going to drive in there.
exactly, instead of common sense using that side road that's
Mm-hmm.
completely saying detour that direction,
Mm-hmm.
they use your entry as their entry and then run into the roller or the asphalter or the construction client's manager who's now abusing them, saying, "Get the
Mm-hmm.
fuck out of our work zone."
I have dead set had a woman follow a line of trucks into one of the windrow yards on a major
Oh,
project I was
come
working
on.
on. Okay, she went past no less than 8 road closed ahead signs. Okay, because this is a road that used to be a thoroughfare onto the main road, so I can sort of understand it. But we've already been there for a year. Okay, so
Right.
and we had problems with people doing this sort of thing in the past, so we put up road closed ahead, 4 of them on either side of the road. Okay,
Yeah.
mirroring each other. So I was like, okay, that should be pretty obvious, and that mostly got rid of the problem. So one day we had a line of trucks, a line of truck and dogs due to head into the yard to get loaded, and this woman's right behind them. So I was sitting up there on the gate and I'm like, oh, I know what is about to happen here. So I got ready to jump in front of her and go, hey, look, stop. You're not coming in here.
No.
I swear, this woman drove around me, through the gate, over the cattle grid, okay, and into the staging area, amongst all the trucks.
Just like Karen, this direction. Come with
My,
me, Karen.
my,
Come with me.
mind you, by this point there are 4 people running after her car. There's me. There's one of the other contractor's employees that happened to be standing at the gate, and there was the excavator driver who dropped buckets and got jumped out.
Sometimes you just
And
feel like these idiots. You just want to run after them and just hand them a high-vis suit, some, steel cap boots, give them the full PPE and say, "Hey, you've entered my site. You may as well come fucking work here, right?
yeah,
Because it
exactly.
doesn't matter what anyone tells you. You're going to do your own thing anyway."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, some of the sites I've been to, by the time they get to the other end, like they'll do this massive road out towards where we were down by the Perth Heat baseball
Mm.
field, which is like South Perth area,
Mm.
and they had dug up the other end of the road. Now all the lights are obviously flashing yellow. You couldn't physically go over it. There was a massive hole going.
Yeah.
If you're gonna fall in the bloody hole, the whole road was dug up. And this vehicle stopped 2 centimeters short of falling into the damn hole because she refused to listen to anyone telling her to stop. And it was only by the sheer luck
Sure.
that the site supervisor jumped in front and said, "Stop your fucking car,"
Mm.
that
Mm.
this person actually stopped because she didn't want to run over someone. And sometimes you just feel like handing them all the PPE equipment and going, "Fuck it, come work with us for the night because you're not going to listen to anything we're telling you. You may as well come join this crew."
Yeah, exactly.
Come
It's
stand
like
where we're standing, just so you understand what we're going through.
and sometimes you just want to be like, look, clearly we are doing something drastically wrong if you're not getting the message that you're not supposed to be here. So get out of your car and tell us what we can do better, please, for
Yeah.
crying out loud.
And then, meanwhile, they're sitting there still abusing you, saying, "Oh, you didn't tell me." No, you just chose to make your own path. Like, don't worry about
Nobody
all the
told me there was
signs.
going to be road work ahead.
Nah, just all the 400 signs you pass and the LED trailer sign, and then the other LED trailer sign, and the TMA operator saying road closure ahead. You might have missed that one too. Some of these sites will have 3 or 4 TMA operators, mind you, with those nice big yellow flashy signs.
Yeah.
that generally is giving you information, people. If you're too fucking tired to read those, maybe don't get behind the wheel.
Should have caught an Uber, mate. You should have
Should have
caught an
Ubered
Uber. Call a taxi, bro.
Yeah, it's some of the challenges that we face on these roads, and the truck drivers see the worst. Obviously, they're dealing with traffic day in, day out, from people that don't know how to merge to people cutting in front of them, slamming on the brakes, thinking, oh, this truck can stop within 2 centimetres. No, they
Either
cannot.
that or they're just looking for a good insurance payout.
Oh, mate, I think any dickhead that pulls in front of a truck and slams on their brake deserves to get hit, deserves to have their car wiped
Mm-hmm.
off, and I hope to God that they just don't have insurance, and I hope that that truck driver has a camera showing what that dickhead did, because that'll
Oh,
be
look.
the only way that is going to solve that problem to get him out the shit.
One of my favorite things to point out to these people is, look, if this guy can afford a sometimes multi-million-dollar truck, okay, what makes you think he doesn't have a fucking good lawyer?
Yeah, a good lawyer and a very good dash camera, the chances
Yeah,
are
that's it.
he's running.
Not only
So,
that, but a lot of the truckers, if you get on TikTok in the wee hours of the morning, a lot of the truckers have live streams now,
yeah, they
like the
do.
overnight truckers.
Yeah, the overnight truckers, I've got a uncle that literally does that. He live streams his trips purely for that reason. A lot of them end up on that Perth Worst Drivers page. You hear the truck driver abusing the shit out of him.
How fucking stupid are you, mate?
It really is mind-boggling to see how bad the traffic is getting. The safety that goes into trying to help everyone and maintaining safety. Like, how many more signs do we need to put out? Do we need to start making signs and say on the signs it says, hey, dickhead, detour ahead, before you actually take notice? Because the yellow and black doesn't seem to work anymore.
It really
So
doesn't. Like,
I'm starting to think maybe it's something in the dialogue. Maybe it's not English enough. Like, do we have to start making these signs Aussie slang for you to take notice of what the signs are telling you to do? Because they're not there for nothing.
it's like that photoshopped sign that I sent you the other day that was something like, nah, it's fucking shut for real, eh?
Yeah, I remember that. I'm going to be hearing you Facebook messages. I love that. We need something like that.
Yeah, we
Karen
do.
crossing 10 meters ahead. Karen's detour. Oh,
Karen's own special little detour. That's the one that goes straight through the job site.
Road will be open in 5 to 10 hours after we get all the Karens to reverse out.
It's like, no, there's no point stopping and asking because we can't tell you when the job's going to be finished. Okay, bugger off.
No, we don't. How many times I've got that? Do you know how long they're going to be? My new favourite line is, do you know how long a piece of string is? Now, someone's commented, they go, oh, it depends on what size yarn you get. I said, well, I can give you a good size yarn, mate. We could be here for hours, but I'm still not going to be able to tell you what time the fucking job finishes. I'm just here to keep you safe.
Yeah, exactly.
So, no, we definitely don't know the times that they finish. We don't know any of that. We get told to set up and maintain traffic. So, just don't ask. You're literally there to set up, hold a stop, go back, keep everyone safe, and the client will tell you when they decide to finish.
Yeah, we can give you a rough idea. We normally have a rough idea if you've been on the job long enough and you sort of know, okay, these guys
We're
are
going to
doing.
finish at XYZ time.
It normally takes these guys about 6 hours to do this, but then all of a sudden you've hit the water main and it becomes a circus.
Yeah, then it's a 3 a.m. in the morning type. You were finishing in the next half hour, 20 minutes, counting down the clock. Now you're here till midnight, 2 a.m. in the morning while they fix that water main.
Exactly.
So it is, yeah, it's, I don't know what else we can do, to be honest. How can you help the unhelpable?
You can't. So, what are some types of abuse that you've experienced on the side?
Probably a lot of verbal. I've gratefully never been physically assaulted.
Mm.
But the verbal assaults, I have had team members get physically assaulted.
Mm.
There was recently a young girl, and I mentioned it in my on the last podcast. She got assaulted while on the job. The employer
Yeah,
had
that's right, you
sent
did.
out 2 inexperienced traffic controllers,
Mm.
one of them had only just been in the job 2, 3 weeks. The other one was the second, third day into her shift, not even from Australia. They were a
Yeah.
backpackers from Ireland. And all we got was quite literally a phone call saying that they had been assaulted.
Mm. Mm.
And I'm sitting there shaking my head, going, this shouldn't have even happened. I'd only just warned the company 3 days prior. Don't send out inexperienced traffic controllers. And what did they do? They've done the exact opposite to what I told them not
Mm.
to do. And yeah, unfortunately got assaulted. But yeah, you do get the physical, emotional. You'll even have people try and nudge you down or will run your stop back.
Yeah, I've had a few try and run me
Those
down as well.
those situations are hard to deal with when they're
Mm.
running your stop back, because the only thing you can do is get on the radio and say, "Everyone get out of the way." You know, they've
Yeah,
run the stop back.
the old get
So
off the road call.
yeah, the get off the, the road call. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a TMA on site that's within that work zone, you can alert the TMA who hold their
Mm.
horn down, and that just tells everybody vacate the area. If you've had a
Yeah, yeah.
pre-start meeting, TMA operator will usually announce, if you hear my horn, that means vacate your work zone to the nearest safe zone possible, because something's about to happen.
Mm. And that's the air horn,
And it's the
not
air
the
horn.
regular horn.
Yeah, and it's a loud air horn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hear that going off and you're in that work zone, it means get the fuck out of the way.
Oh, even if
So
you're not in that work zone, just get out of the way just in case.
just in case, you just never know. It's just one of those situations that you don't want to have to deal with. But yeah, the
Mm.
verbal is probably the main one that I've copped, and the best way to deal with it is to just, thank you, we understand.
Mm.
Try and
Mm.
de-escalate it. Use your de-escalation tactics. Now, if you can't de-escalate it and you know you can't handle it, just call your team leader. Hey, look, I know you're upset. I'll get my team leader over and you can have a chat with them. They're either going to do one of two things. They're going to accept that, or two, they're going to go, nah, don't worry about it. And they're going to
Mm.
continue to abuse you. Just let it roll off your back. That's the only thing you can do.
I found a lot of them try to, they like to use their phone as a weapon. They'll either come out filming you, or they'll take photos of the ute and the truck and everything like that, and then they'll send it
love
into the
that.
office.
I love when that happens. I usually go up next to them saying, who are we going to? Are we going to TMZ? Like, do you want a photo with me? Do you want my signature? Like, I didn't know there was going to be paparazzi this morning. So, if you want to take a photo of me, I'm happy to smile, go, cheers, but, a little memento for you to take home with you. Because if you're going to send it to my boss, the boss ain't going to care, because he
Yeah,
knows we're
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Main roads ain't going to care, because they issued the permit. They know we're there. So if you're thinking of taking it to the police, they're going to come out. They're going to have a look at what we're doing. They're going to go back to you. One of two things are going to happen. If you were stupid enough to leave the police your details, they're going to fine you for wasting police time. Or if you're waiting for the police, the chances are they're going to have a very long talk with you. And if you've got a shoddy
Yep.
ass vehicle, they're now going to go over your vehicle. And I've seen that happen multiple
Mhm,
times. They love it when you waste their time and they've come out to site and you're driving a piece of shit that shouldn't be on the road. I love watching them canary vehicles. I love it. So the best thing is, don't abuse the traffic controller and there won't be a roll-on effect.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's the best way to get your line of traffic released
Yeah.
semi-quickly is just to be civil to the traffic
And
controller, or
a lot of traffic
cash
controllers have
bribes
started
work as
wearing
well. But
body cameras now over here in Western Australia. So you'll see, traffic
Mm.
controllers wearing a body cam, and every time something's about to happen, they just hit record. They're not recording the whole time, just when an incident's about to start, and then they hit record. And then all we do is point to the camera, and that 9 times out of 10 will work, because people are like, okay, there's a camera. All we need is a license plate and a description of what you were doing, and the coppers are just going to send you a lovely ticket in the mail. and saying that you've broken the law on XYZ street at XYZ time. We've
Mm.
given them the evidence, and they'll give you whatever charge that category falls into.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And I got to clarify, I don't accept bribes. I was kidding.
yeah, I accept bribes. Yeah, come through. $3,000. 13,000 for my lawyer too when I get into shit to let me come through.
That makes it a white collar crime.
Yeah. Sorry, work safe. Oh man. Yeah, it
I've had
is
a few. I've
the
had a couple of crackers as well.
yeah, go
I
on.
have been physically assaulted on site, and it's funny when it happens because it's normally some skinny little crackhead who'll come out swinging, and I'm like, yeah, okay, keep it up.
Just let him go. Just keep
Yeah,
it running.
it's kind of like, when you play fighting with a kid and you just put your hand on their forehead like that, they start. It's like that for me as well.
I'm starting to think. I don't know if you've seen it. You've seen that TikTok where they throw that little piece of Bauga cheese on the baby's forehead to stop it crying.
Yeah.
I feel like doing that at traffic control sometimes. Just having a packet of cheese with me and throwing it at their forehead just to see if it works. Like, just to see if it'll stun them enough. The things you deal with
I
are
think
insane.
I think it would piss a few people off more if you did that.
Assault with deadly cheese.
One of my favorites, right, this one I will probably never forget, was this guy. For some reason, he was dressed in a chef's uniform. Okay, skinny, short guy, and the first thing I noticed about this guy was that he jumped over the back fence of a house nearby. Okay, he did not come out through the front door like normal people do. No. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, by the way, and we were only on a small job. Just a builder, bobcat, filling the truck, right? They were finishing up, cleaning up the job site, and that was it. They were done with it. This guy comes out. he's jumped over the back fence of this house, and he's come over to me, yelling and swearing and screaming that his daughter's trying to sleep and he's trying to sleep. And the vibrations from the machinery we're using are shaking his house so much that him and his daughter can't sleep. And he's come over and he's tried to start swinging at me as well. So I've just sort of pushed him off, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? First of all, your daughter should not be sleeping. It's 9 o'clock in the fucking morning. Get out of bed."
You would think people would be out of bed by 9 in the morning, unless they've just come off night shift. There's no reason why you're wasting half your day sleeping. Like, it's just ridiculous. But
Like, even if he'd
people
been in
don't
the
even
kitchen till
understand, like, the psychological effects of, like, there is incidences where traffic controllers have been killed, obviously. And the psychological effects that has on the traffic controllers that were there on that job and the client and their workers, people forget all that. They don't realize, the effects it actually has an on-flow effect. A lot of these traffic controllers are colleagues and really close teammates and sometimes family members. They need psychological counselling afterwards as well.
They do, yeah.
It's just a massive thing. There's no point using the traffic controller that is telling you to do a detour, because we've got nothing to do with what the client is actually doing. They've been sent there by the state government or by another client to do a job. The permit has been issued to close off the road or part of the road and issue a detour. If you've got a problem, call main roads, because main roads are the ones that have issued the permit.
Or the RMS in New South Wales case.
Yeah, exactly, because there's nothing that's going to change those signs, and there's no one that is going to help you on that site take a shortcut. just because it saves you an extra 5 minutes and it's an inconvenience because the road's been blocked off. The
Yeah,
detour's there, follow the detour.
yeah,
It's,
exactly.
the dangers you would putting every worker in by running the stop that or running through a construction zone at high
Mm.
speed is ridiculous. Like,
And it's not just the workers that are being put in danger, it's also the driver
yeah,
themselves by doing
100%.
that, because you as the driver, you don't know the plan. We know the
No.
plan. We know where the ditch is dug, all right?
Yeah.
You guys, you don't. Please, there is a reason why we have a lane closed on the M5. Trust me, we don't want to fucking be there, okay? So, what's the point in getting upset about it? Yeah, sure, it's causing traffic. And yeah, sure, you think you're going to be smart by ducking into the closed lane or what have you, but
There's a reason it's blocked off, and there's usually a
yeah,
giant
exactly.
hole that's getting dug, hence why it's blocked off. So if you run that and you land in the hole, and
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this happen, believe it, I've seen this happen. Car runs through the construction zone, and then they've smashed into a piece of equipment, and then the car's rolled into the ditch. They had some nerve to then get out of the vehicle and abuse the traffic controller and the construction workers. Oh, this shouldn't be here. Why are you doing this at so early in the morning? I was like, well, had you not run the sign and had you not ignored the stop that, you would not have your vehicle. He ended up getting arrested and breath tested on site from the coppers because he wanted to call the cops. He says, this is bullshit. You owe me a new car. Coppers turned up and said, sir, because you've been in an accident, we need a breath test. Blows 3 times the legal limit.
Oh, shit.
So not only is his car not covered by his insurance company, but he's now lost a whole car and now he's being arrested for 3 times the legal limit. So he's also lost his license.
I remember one particular time when I'd only just started in traffic control. I think I was a week into the job or something like that. And we were out doing an asphalt job. Now, you would know asphalt goes down at something just under 200 degrees Celsius, right?
Yeah, got that lovely smell that comes with it that you keep on gagging on for the next 3 hours while they lay it.
Gotta love the smell of hot mix in the morning.
Yeah, it goes down well when you've just had coffee and the first thing you smell is asphalt and you're like, trying to non-dry reach and throw up your breakfast at the same time.
You're not arguing about it when it's 2 o'clock in the morning on a cold winter's night.
Oh, you love it at that
The
point.
hot
At
mix
that point,
truck pulls up and you're like, just stay there, mate. Just put my
at
hands
that
up
point,
against
you're
the side of
literally
your truck.
following and going, sir, do you need me to follow you? I'm happy to follow you and provide additional cover.
So anyway, this guy in his BMW decided that he was going to run the road closure, abused the shit out of the poor traffic controller that was there, just did the screeching burnout, and popped off down the street. Okay, came across the patch that we'd put in, which was the length of the entire street. That's why we had it shut. His wheels just dug straight into that. They did not put up with the heat for very long. All 4 tires burst, and he dug this pair of trenches through the freshly laid asphalt all the way to his own driveway. Okay. So,
were the cops called? Was he arrested?
No, I don't think he got arrested. The cops were called, and it was settled that way, but he did receive a bill that was something to the order of about $70,000 from the asphalt company.
Oh, damn.
To lay the new mat.
Oh, that's insane. Gotta love that. I love stories like that. It's one of these jobs where when something goes wrong, it's usually not something small. It's quite large. And it's it usually takes hours to fix the problem, if not days, because there's permits involved. You got to get clearances. There's planning's got to get involved, schedulers, all sorts. So when it happens and it's late at night, you can't just call the planner up and go, "Oh, we want to get this fixed." It delays the job.
It does, yeah, especially if it's at night.
Yeah, things like that. Thank you to that worker. You just gave everybody an extra additional night's worth of work.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's awesome. You gotta love that. But it's it it's kind of like a good segue into this as well.
Um, Hold on a sec. I got one more. I
You've
do.
got another one. Oh, let's
Actually,
go.
I got a few more, and this next one will be very quick. I actually know someone who has had a gun pulled on them by a
No
driver.
way.
Yep. Old mate wasn't very happy with waiting in traffic. He got out of the cab, went around to the back of the ute, and picked up the old 22 from the tray. And there are different versions of the story. The version that he tells kids, the gun was just waved around. The version that he tells adults, the gun was fired.
Yeah, right.
So I don't
Oh,
know which one's true.
it's a
But
left or right.
I digress. There was a night a few years ago when it was just me and another young girl sitting in the ute in the middle of the night. All right, I can't remember what the job was we were there for. I think we were just supposed to be watching something. We're just sitting there, okay. And this guy, he was obviously homeless, comes up to the window of the ute because we had it rolled down. It was a summer's night, pretty warm. And he's like, "Oh, how yous going?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay. How about yourself?" "Oh, yeah, not bad. You got a smoke?" That sort of thing. You know, the way they try and lead you into their little trap conversation. It's like, "Yeah, no, mate, don't have any smokes. That's all. Sorry about that." Um, we were parked next to some hoarding. You know, the hoarding around construction sites,
Yeah.
and they had one of those massive concrete pillars as an anchor. And he's like, "Oh, you know what they make the shit out of?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be good. What do they make it out of, mate?" "Oh, they make it out of cocaine." I'm like, "Oh, here it is. Okay."
Here we go, one of those ones.
So, I worked for a particular company. The acronym for that company could have made this guy think that we worked for the tax office. It was very close to ATO.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
So he sees that written on the side of the ute. And he's like, "Oh, that's all you cunts do, isn't it? You just sit there in your office and shove the shit up your nose. Stealing money from people, that's all you fucking do, isn't it?" And he started kicking the ute door and everything, and I'm like, this is great. Okay, roll the window up. We're just going to ring the cops and tell them to come get rid of this guy.
Oh my god.
So the cops took about 20 minutes to get there, because luckily, we were right around the corner from, I think it was I think we were in the Rocks. We were right around the corner from the Rocks police station here in Sydney. So I hopped out of the ute, right, and this guy's seen, oh shit, this guy's like 6'4". He's scarpered. He went up around the corner. Cops showed up shortly after that, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" So we told them, and I was like, He's disappeared up there into that parking lot. Just make sure he's not up there, damaging people's cars and whatnot." So they went up there and dealt with him. Didn't arrest him or anything, but they came back down about 10 minutes later, and they're like, "Don't worry, he's not going to bother you again."
He's currently passed out with a bottle of grog.
Yeah, probably.
They probably tasered him or something.
Yeah, gave him a good old
Handcuffed him to the pole.
electric dance lesson.
Yeah. Dance. Oh, I've had another. It makes the night interesting when it's those late nights and something happens. But at the same time, you're sitting there going, "Shit, is this guy iced up? Is this guy what's the mental impact this person has? What's wrong with it? What shit am I going to get into if I get out of my uni here?" Uh, it's Yeah, there is a lack of security on these job sites. It's
Yeah,
just usually you and your workmates and the client, right?
especially at night, and there's no one else around to see.
Yeah.
You're normally just there by yourself, and you're very, very exposed.
Yeah, oh, very exposed. And I did have someone out, like, come up to me and ask that. They go, "Oh, don't you have security on site?" I was just like, No, because the client's usually not going to pay for security. They pay for
Mm.
traffic control because security, it's not a pub, it's not a club. And
Yeah.
I'm yet to come across a site, unless it's a big site, like a construction site, where there's security on site. They're usually gate security or something like
Mm.
that.
Mm.
But even then, they're only there to observe and report anyway. They don't have handcuffs, they don't
Yeah,
have a
that's
tape.
it. Hmm.
So it's not like I can do anything.
A lot of the security personnel in Australia, they're really just there to make sure that the doors are locked, basically,
Pretty
that
much.
that the cameras are working. I mean, what's what's an islander and an I-30 on the other side of the job site going to do when when some crackhead's attacking you 500 meters away?
Yeah, and that's it.
Not much is going to happen.
No, 100%.
Yeah. So we have another issue. There's the other side of the abuse that we cop in our industry, and that is casual workers and company exploitation.
Yes. Yes. I like this thing. I was waiting for this one to come up.
Haven't we all been?
It's it's the best part where you're literally, you're casual, you come in and do your job, and
Hmm.
if you even have a sick day or anything like that, like they love to pull your shifts away from you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, especially if you're there, you're casual full time, but then, wife's sick, kids are sick, something like that. All of a sudden, you've
Mm.
just gone from their number one worker to now you're lucky if you're getting 3 or 4 shifts, for the fortnight, let alone the week.
Mm.
So they will work you and work you and work you to the bone. Like, you'll
Yeah.
go to a 10, 11-hour shift, knowing full well you've got to go home and rest, and they'll be like, "Oh, we don't have any workers for the next day, kid. Do you think you've got the energy to keep on going?" That's just like,
Yeah.
"Nah, I don't."
Nah, not really. And then they're like, well, then you don't have the energy to do shifts for the remainder of the week either.
Yeah.
Gone.
So they use a lovely guilt trip on you, so you end up
Mm.
rolling over, and, what do you do? Do you say, "Yes, oh, fuck it, I'll do it," or hold your ground and say, "Well, no, I'm not gonna tolerate that, and I'm going home." But it's kind of a flip of a coin. If you've been there for a while, casual workers kind of now have
Mm.
more of
Mm.
a safety barrier in terms of the league, like the law. So even if you're casual, you can still report that company for psychological abuse. So, if they're going to take away hours and they're going to penalize you because you've told them no, record it, record
Yeah.
the date, record the time, record the interaction and what happened, and start dialoguing what happened, and then do a work safe report. Or in your case, over in Eastern States, you'll
A
have
mm.
safe work, I think it is
So,
over there.
they change it every 3
Yeah,
months. I can never remember what it's called. But yeah, it was safe work, then it was work safe, then it was something along
it's
those lines.
it's just constantly changing. Yeah, over here we've got work safe, and we just literally, they'll do the investigation, they'll look at your report, but then if you're severely impacted financially, you can also go
Mm.
for workers'
Mm.
comp. So
You
it doesn't
can,
matter
yeah.
if you're casual, full-time, part-time, WA, 100%, even if you're casual, you can still go for workers' comp if the employer has or is placing you in a dangerous situation that you don't feel safe in, and you've told them no, and they're trying
Mm.
to penalise
Mm.
you for telling them no. You can then go for workers' comp, and you will be compensated for that time. And there's plenty of
Yes,
no win,
exactly.
no fee lawyers that will take on your case. So,
They love this sort of thing.
they eat this for, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They thrive off this. They love it. They love when they've got an easy open shut case.
Mm. Especially because people who own and run traffic control companies tend to do so because they have fairly deep pockets. So these guys know they can win a fair bit out of them.
Oh, 100%. But what about
Mm.
yourself? Have these guys had much going over there in the Eastern States in terms of exploitation and all that?
Yes, we have a lot of it. We have several companies, and I don't actually know what their names are, but I've heard about them, and I've heard them doing this practice. They will bring immigrants in, and pretty much pay off the licensee or the licensing schools to pass these people on their courses, no matter how rubbish they are. And then they'll hire them in the company. So these companies will what do you call it? They will send the invitation over to immigrants to come and work, right? And then they'll say, listen, this is on the proviso that you only work for us. And then they go, right, well, if you decide that you're going to try and look for work somewhere else, or if you decide that you're going to try and take us to court or anything, we're going to retract the invitation and have you sent back to your country. So that's one of the main practices that these companies try to pull off.
It's unreal. It's I haven't dealt with any situations like that, but I've seen it happen. And usually the backpackers are so worried to lose the job as well that they'll do anything to keep the job. They'll put themselves at risk just to keep the job because, the boss has told me to do it, and they're worried if they speak up that, one, they'll lose the job and be sent back home. They don't really understand the laws and, the whole stop work if you feel unsafe situation. And that's why it's good that we're doing this to educate people.
Yeah.
But also, if you hear of this happening, help them out. Get involved and say, no, these are your legal rights here in Australia. This is what you are entitled to, and to feel safeguarded. Don't feel threatened. Because there's a ton of jobs here that will get you guys jobs. Don't think that traffic control is, this is it. There is so many construction jobs out there where they're screaming for workers right now.
Yeah,
Best
that's
thing
it.
you can do is get yourself a trade. They're
Yeah,
always looking for
exactly.
trades. So,
We have a serious tradie shortage in this country.
100%.
But I'll go on with one of the other things these companies do, right? They rely on the fact that these people don't understand the Australian work condition laws. So they will go, okay, you'll come and work for us for $23 an hour. Okay. Not only that, but you have to provide your own ABN. Not a tax file number, ABN. And they will try and tell these people, right, that don't worry, because you're working on ABN, you don't have to pay tax. That's not true anymore. Because when you try to leave Australia again, the customs officer will look up your ABN and go, hey, wait a minute, you owe the tax office $15,000. Where are you going? You're going to Villawood Detention Centre.
Yeah, and that happens a lot of the time as well. I'm not sure what the legal terms are for backpackers and immigrants coming across with that, but I know the first 50,000, 30 or 50,000 is tax-free, but I think it only applies to Australian residents. I don't think that applies to the people on working visas and all that. And whether they're if they're able to get an ABN, I assume you'd have to be a resident to obtain an ABN, or is it different?
It's you can get one on a working visa.
Yeah, right. Okay. Interesting.
Anyway, what do you say to a short break, Swagman?
Let's do it. Let's have that right.
All right. on a sec. Hang on a sec.
Oh, I love it. No, I was not pulling a bong, but I was listening, just completely off topic, was listening to this podcast, and I swear these two blokes, they just sit in their garage doing a podcast, chuffing away. They're not in Australia, they are in America. um, their episodes, they've got quite a few episodes, and I believe it's called
It's Three-Wheel Bicycle.
Three-Wheel Bicycle. Hilarious two dudes. And, you know, if they'd done that in Australia, they are your classic Aussie kind of type people you'd want to hang out with just to have a good laugh, because they really do. They make you laugh.
Honestly, I could picture these guys just sitting in some back shed on a manky old couch with the Gatorade saxophone and a couple of beers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've had to listen to a few of their episodes now, and I'm actually glad we're doing the shout out because we're probably going to be making an episode or two with them in the future. So listen out for that.
Yeah, listen out for that one for sure, because they are hilarious. They've got, I believe, 3,000 followers on their own personal Facebook page.
Oh shit,
And
that's
I
all
think
right.
it's about 1,500 people listening to their podcast. That's pretty good for America. Now, when we join their podcast, I'm sure it's going to skyrocket. They're going to go from maybe 1,000, and because Swagman and Cranky, we're famous already, like paparazzi following us, and we're already going to skyrocket. Like, we're going to push their views to at least 20,000, like
Oh, no.
100%.
I know I get a few people coming to my job sites to take photos, so I'm guessing it's because I'm famous.
Yeah, well, that's it. Every time you go to work now, you're taking a photo. Oh, you recognise me from the podcast? Oh, yeah, come on.
Yes, it is me. I am Cranky.
Yes, this guy. Photos.
You want proof?
Galore.
Get off my fucking job site.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, so that's going to be an awesome episode, and we'll try to record some of it ourselves, and we'll put it out there as a shared podcast, and see if we get a copy, and we might upload that one as a joint venture. So
yeah, but seriously, sorry, go on.
No, you can, yeah.
Go look these guys up. They're called Three-Wheel Bicycle. They're
they're funny. They're hilariously funny.
they are.
You know, you're almost a Kevin Hart type era.
Yep.
Like it's. I'm surprised they've only got 1,000 people listening. I actually thought they'd have a lot more. Like the amount of podcasts they've released and their content is so good that you would think there'd be a lot more people listening. So
I thought they would
get
too.
on board.
Yeah.
Three-Wheel Bicycle.
And I mean, you listen to the first episode, and you already know that this is going to be some tripped out stuff because that theme music that they use is just what is the song?
And they do all the clapping and the cheering. They use all the features that Riverside have, and I do believe they've got a soundboard because some of the features they use Riverside doesn't have. So shout out to Riverside.
And Upbeat.io for providing the music.
Yes, Upbeat.
We got to send a shout out to Upbeat.
Yeah, Upbeat. Come on, get some more tunes on there.
And I believe we have a few sponsors we need to name drop as well while we're at it.
Yeah, may as well name drop some sponsors.
We've got the people hooked. They're listening. Let's talk about
sponsorship. Get on board. Swag headquarters right now, which is
that's our big one.
Goal. It's the ultimate life level up. Now, what they do is they go around to businesses and they interview businesses on how to be successful, how they hope to be successful, any advice you like to give that. But they're actually running a promotional competition right now where you can get an exclusive swag hoodie. On the front, it's a black hoodie that says swag, and on the back it says "Do not disturb" and "Someone with a goal." So once that jumper goes on and the hood goes up, bang! Do not disturb.
SWAG, someone with a goal.
That's it. And all you've got to do is go onto their Facebook page, Swag Headquarters, scroll down till you find the post that says competition for your shot at winning an exclusive swag hoodie. follow the instructions below. All you've got to do is simply follow, share, and like the page and tag 2 friends in their posts, and that's it. Swag it up, you're in the competition. The more people you tag, the more entries you get. So
And that
swag it up.
that Facebook page is Swag HQ, isn't it?
It is. It's called Swag Headquarters, and we've got it on our Facebook page as well.
Yes, it is
It's
linked.
been promoted. It is linked there. We might be able to pin it so it's at the top of the page, just for everyone to go have a look at. But check it out. Also, if you're in Lakelands in the Mandurah area, suss out Simo's Butchers at the Lakelands Shopping Centre, where you get all your fresh meats and the best quality here in Lakelands, Mandurah, WA. If you're like
Absolutely.
me and if you're like Cranky and you need a chiropractor, Lakelands Chiropractors, go speak to Melissa there. She is great. Melissa Morgan down at Lakelands Chiropractors, one of the best chiropractors I have found in Perth to date. And Swagman, that's me. You can come and suss me out anytime you like. Get in contact with us via the email, which I do believe is. Give me
It's on
2
the
seconds.
Facebook.
It's on the Facebook page. It's on every post, I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
That we put out there. It is Traffic Zone Podcast at hotmail.com, I believe, from memory.
And last but not least, I want to thank my friend Dizzylicious. Dizzylicious.
Oh.
Spelt like it sounds. Find her on Instagram if you're in the mood for a cake or cupcakes, weddings, birthdays, whatever. She's there for you.
That is it. And a shout out to all you guys as well. We have grown significantly over the past couple of weeks while doing these podcasts. We've gone from, just 98 likes to 124 likes to only 133 people following us to now 234 followers.
That's not bad
we have doubled
4
our
weeks.
numbers. 4 weeks worth of work. That's with no money being invested into boosting the pages or anything like that. It is all natural growth. So keep sharing the podcast, keep sharing the Facebook page. We'd love to have this skyrocket. And our email address is on the Facebook page. It does need updated. It says at gmail.com, but it is trafficzonepodcast@hotmail.com. So we will get that updated.
Yeah, remember that. It's hotmail.com. Like we're back in high school.
Yeah. Oh, God. I love high school days.
Oh, boy.
I think I attended 2 days of high school and dropped out, and that was it. Yeah. I thought working life was better.
Oh, look. Who didn't? Seriously, I dropped out at the beginning of year 11. But mentally, I dropped out the first day of grade 7.
No, I think that was a little list. Oh, that's pretty great. Alrighty, well, you've been joining Swagman and Cranky on the In the Zone podcast. This is your platform, guys. Anything that you guys want to hear on this platform, reach out, send us an email. We're getting a lineup of guests coming on soon.
Yeah, we are.
So at the moment, we're just filtering through all the emails and requests that we do have. There is quite a few to go through. So if we haven't got to you yet, it's not that we're ignoring you. It's just we have been inundated.
There's a lot. And we are still looking for a lady or person of any other gender to do an episode with about your experiences in our industry.
Yes, 100%. We'd like to hear the view from the other side of the zone, from other than the male perspective. We want to put it out there. See what your experiences have been like as a female or any other gender that we can. We want to know what are the challenges you faced. What are the issues you've come across? Have you been ridiculed? Has it been hard? Have you found it just to be easy? Like, we want to hear your stories, and we've read a few, and we've got some classics on there. And we might just read a few out
especially on Traffic Control Australia. That page is a
Yes.
gold mine for you guys, and you absolutely fantastic page, full of support for traffic controllers and other people working in our industry too.
Yeah. It's
I
amazing.
mean, hell, that's where we met.
That's where we met. It's amazing how an idea where we met on that page and an idea has transformed so big that we're now across multiple platforms from Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube. Like it's just blown up. And I think it's Google Radio or something like that you were saying as well.
It's Google Podcasts. We are on iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts.
It's
I have to take a deep breath. It's pretty much any of the big name things. We're on fucking Audible.
Audible. Okay? Go on Audible.
Yeah. So, when you're finished listening to Project Hail Mary, switch over to our podcast.
Yeah, okay? Exactly. Just drop over. We're there. Just look us up. Free of charge. There's no cost involved. So, everyone likes free things. I'm going to try and win myself a swag hoodie. That's what
am I. I'm in it.
Oh, I'm just going to... I've tagged a bunch of people in it already. I'm trying to double my rewards to try and win this thing, hey?
I mean, another perfect way to try and keep yourself warm on those cold winter nights, aside from chasing the hot mix truck down the street, trying to hug it, put one of these swag hoodies on under your work shirt. You will not regret that decision.
Oh no, it is. They're amazing. I've personally seen them, and I've had one on just to see how they fit, and they're really good for the sake of $100. Yeah, it's worth buying. I'm going to try and win it, so I'm going to try my luck at winning it, so I don't have to spend $100.
It is a $100 hoodie, and there's a reason why it's a $100 hoodie too. So we'll say that.
So yes, 100%. Go support them. My last count that I got from them was they had 35 followers on there. Now, on their other platforms, though, they've got over 750 on one platform, 800 on YouTube. So they do have a following. They've only just started this Facebook page. So they're still trying to tell people, hey, come across to Facebook, but not many people have got Facebook anymore. They've got rid of it. So if you listen to this, you've got Facebook, head over to Swag Headquarters Facebook page. And it's a gold star, and it says someone with a goal, Swag Headquarters. You can't miss it. Just send them a like, send them a follow the page. Why not?
Now, we've covered this previously in the episode, or we covered some of it, but there are some legal and support frameworks for people in our industry who have suffered both verbal and physical verbal and physical abuse. But most importantly, if it's really, really getting to you, give Lifeline a ring. They're always there.
Yeah. Lifeline is they're across Australia. If you've got any mental health problems and you just need to get a hold of them, contact Lifeline Australia. Their contact number is 131114. So 13 11 14. Give them a call. It's the Lifeline Crisis Support Centre. Everything is completely anonymous. You don't even have to give your name. They'll do their best to get to you as quickly as possible. And the service is completely free. So give them 24/7. Any time of the day or night, you can call Lifeline.
I've got a mate who used to volunteer for them. He says it was quite an interesting job.
Yeah, it's the stories you would come across. They're out there, and it goes to show that the service is still obviously getting used if it's still available. It goes to show that there is people out there using the service. So, don't feel ashamed to have to give them a ring and say, hey, I'm going through some issues right now. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, and the other thing is if you feel like you're being exploited or, what's the word?
Taken advantage
of or just being mistreated at work, give legal aid a call and see what advice they can give you as well.
Yeah, 100%. They'll definitely help you out. If you're in the Perth area, you can contact Perth City Legal. Tell them what's going on at work. They're a no-win, no-fee law firm. and they're
Mm.
purely there for workers' comp claims. So, yeah, Perth City Legal, give them a bell, and they might be able to also give you a hand. And if they think you've got a case, they may even take the case on.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you're one of those, if you're one of those people that's a member of a union or something like that, don't never forget that you are a member of that. Use that. Use it.
100%. And a lot of your workplaces as well, if you have a read of your contract, you've got an EAP service.
Mm.
They're there purely for any work-related issues. They're not there for the company. They're hired by the
Mm.
company, but none of the information you give them
Mm.
goes back
Mm.
to them. It's purely for support for those. If you feel bullied at work, if you feel like you're being mistreated, they're another service you can use as well.
Mm.
It's 100% free. So.
There's
Also, have a look at your health funds, because a lot of your health funds will be covered with psychological or
yes, yep.
mental health plans attached to them, and you don't even know that you're paying for it. It's just put in there. So use them. Speak to your doctor if you really have an issue. You do have rights in the workplace when it comes to these things. So, yeah, make sure you use it correctly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was going to say, this is something that has been implemented over in my old country, over in South Africa, and I really, really wish that Australia would
To
have
bear
something
arms and
like
have
this.
locked doors of all floors, and make sure that you got bulletproof in all windows.
Aside from that, that is a pretty quick way to make sure your employer doesn't fuck with you, but at least bring a large dog to work. No, over there they have a universal app, which doesn't matter where you are in the country or who you work for. Most companies are signed up to this app, and I can't remember what it's called, but it is for it's for anonymous reporting of shady work practices, essentially. Um,
You can do that here in Australia as well.
mm,
Over in Perth, we've got WorkSafe. You can actually do a report anonymously. You don't have to, if you
mm,
think your employee is doing something dodgy and you've got evidence, you know they're doing something dodgy,
yep.
you can actually contact them via email or give them a call and say, look, I want to make this report. I want it to be anonymous. This is what's going on. Now, if they believe that it's really serious, they will take that report. They will not take your name.
Yeah.
They'll ask you, do you want your number attached to it? But if you feel like, oh, look, I just want to get
Mm,
something solved because no one's listening, by all means, contact WorkSafe in Perth. They will take your report and they will listen to your concerns and say, yeah, this is a breach. It needs to be investigated.
yeah. Yeah.
And you won't find out the outcome, but just know that it is taken seriously. So don't feel like you can't talk to your boss about it. If you can't go to them, go to WorkSafe, and they'll listen.
Yeah. And this app that I was talking about works in a very, very similar way, but government bodies over there aren't the most effective.
Yeah, okay.
So this app is run by a private investigation firm,
Yeah, right.
which, if it turns out that the claim is true after it's been investigated, the company will be charged the bill, not the person reporting, and all that stuff. But
Wow. Okay.
it's something that Australia needs to bring in universally, because a
100%.
lot of people don't understand that there are avenues you can go down if shit's going down at work.
100%.
It's either that, or they either don't understand it, or they're too scared to make the phone call themselves, or something like that. You can always start with your human resources person and just work your way up from that, you know. So, I'm going to say, moving forward, there are strategies for traffic controllers and other people working in our industry to cope with and report abuse, as I just said. The role of the community and authorities in supporting traffic controllers is... it's a lot larger than people think it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
There's
And
support there. People need to just reach
Mm.
out.
Mm.
So it's
It's all
there's
about the knowledge.
too many things going unheard. There's too many
Mm.
incidents that are not being reported because people are worried, oh, I don't want to lose my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call your governing body for that area. For Perth, obviously,
Mm.
it's work
Mm.
safe. For Sydney, it'll be somebody else. I think it's Safe Work Australia over there. They will investigate.
Mm.
They will take your concerns seriously, and if they believe something's been breached by the act or the legislation, they will 100% bring that
Yeah.
company to a
Yeah.
hear. So, yeah.
Well, it's like I said just a minute ago. Start small. Start with your HR person. If it's something that's happening on your team and it's not really a company wide thing, let your human resources person know, or your immediate manager. They might be able to do something about it.
Or speak to your safety person. Usually, a lot of sites will have a safety person. Speak to them.
Yeah, well, that
Because
too.
they can also reach out. They can take your anonymous report and take it
Mm.
to the boss and say, look, this has been reported. Can't tell you who it's from, but it was reported. If you trust them,
Yeah.
then
Mm.
100% do that. Now, if any what I like to call adverse action happens from that report, your name gets leaked. There would be a breach of the Confidentiality Act because you reported to that safety person in confidence to not have your name leaked. And that's what, and they then hinder your working hours or hinders your job or they've fired you. That's what's called adverse action. So
Yeah.
when you do these reports to any governing body, take notice, take the time, date, location, who you spoke to, record all the information down, and if anything is to go ski whiff and you do lose your job over it or working hours, then you can take that company to court for what's called adverse action.
In this day and age, you can follow up any meeting with an email pretty much immediately.
Yes.
Make sure that you
Clearly state.
make sure that you get the minutes of that email either sent to you, or you write up that email yourself and send it out to the other person that you had that meeting or conversation with, just so that there's something written down. It's
100%.
the 11th commandment once again: cover thy ass.
Yes. Cover your ass because no one's going to cover it for you. And if you think that your company is on your side, think again because when shit hits the fan, by far they will throw your ass under that bus.
You got to look out for number one.
Yeah, number one
Always look
being
out for number one.
yourself. And number two being your family. Number three being your income for your family. Saying cover your ass. Make sure everything that you've documented is true, can be backed up with facts and evidence. Don't think the company's going to cover your ass if something was to go wrong, because that's where a lot of people go wrong. Oh, my company will cover me. Oh, they're a great bunch. Yeah, they say that to you until something severely goes wrong.
Yes, exactly.
That's where it all goes.
And it's, for goodness sakes, if you're going to start working in this industry, or even if you're already working in this industry and you haven't already, do some research on who the governing bodies are in your state over the construction and roadwork industries. So, like Safe Work, for example, I made a joke earlier about the fact that they change their name every 6 months. They don't. That's what they're called, Safe Work. Safe Work New South Wales. And they can help you handle any of the stuff that we've mentioned above. And even if you have to go as far as calling the Fair Work Commission.
100%.
If you got to take it national, take it national. Make it as big as you have to.
Yeah.
But, you got things like unions for a reason. They've got lawyers. They've got people that'll come in and fight for you if need be.
If you're lucky enough to get one,
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough to afford the fees of one.
I was forced to for a while. I worked for a particular company over here that forces you to become a union member, and they take the dues out automatically.
Yeah.
So it's like, it works out to be like $30 a week or something pizzling like that. But I was working for them, and I had a girl come up to me at one point while I was doing that. And what did she say? I can't remember what her exact grievance was, but she was like, what do I do about this?
Yeah.
And I think she'd seen something pretty questionable happen on site,
Yeah.
or something questionable had happened to her or something, and she's like, I just don't know who to talk to about this. And I was like, listen, you know that $34 that comes out every week? Oh yeah, that's union dues. Use that shit. Call them.
Yeah.
They will
Cool
tell
as
you
you
what
and
you
you
can
were.
do. But otherwise, if you're not a union member like I'm not now, there are still avenues you can take. Even, if it comes down to, if something really bad happens, even talk to your own lawyer or something like that. Legal aid. Get advice. Always get advice.
100%. Get advice, contact someone, speak about it. Don't just walk past and let it
Mm-hmm.
go unheard.
Mm.
They preach it in toolbox meetings that, speak up, say something. Don't just walk past, react
Yep.
to it,
Yep.
do something.
It ain't weak to speak.
It ain't weak to speak. So a lot of them preach it and then you get penalised for doing that. Fuck that shit. Go out there, speak up. It ain't weak to speak up. You're going to save your life, your colleagues, and you get to go home at the end of
Yeah.
the shift. So
Well,
that's number one priority, going home.
a lot of people believe that saying only goes for mental health issues. It doesn't. It goes for anything questionable that you see on the job site, anything bad that happens to you, or anything like that. Just it ain't.
Speak up.
Excuse me. It ain't weak to speak.
Yeah, no. And there's a lot of males out there that don't speak up. This is, it's time to speak up. It's time to change the working culture.
This is your
You know,
casting call, fellas. Let's hear
this
your
is the
voice.
casting call. Yeah, speak up. Say
Yeah.
this is not on anymore. Enough's enough. We're the modern 2024 now, so
Mm-hmm.
everything's become very political. It's not back in the day where you used to pull the piss out of everyone because everyone's now got a lot of mental health issues. And I've spoken about it on other podcasts. The psychosocial laws that have changed in the last 3 years have come into effect. And if you're an employer, you're an employer and you're listening to this, be aware that psychosocial law protects all employees. And if you're seen breaching that and not doing your psychosocial risk assessments, they will come back to bite you in the ass. So make sure you're doing them.
Well, anyway, I think that is the perfect that's the perfect thing to leave us on. So
100%.
I shall bid you all adieu. You have been listening to In the Zone with Cranky and the Swag
And the
Man.
swag man.
All right, Swag
All right,
Man. I
guys.
will
Peace
chat
out.
to you next week. Bye.
Have a good week.